that don't know, I know you have a couple of businesses out there. Can you just briefly describe them?
Okay, so basically I have a company, and it's called THEIVYFILES. The THEIVYFILES LLC. And through that, I have different entities. So Shop THEIVYFILES is basically just the things that I create and different knickknacks. And I do arts and crafts sometimes. So whatever I come up with at the time, that's what I sell on the shop. So that's Shop THEIVYFILES. So that basically just comes from whatever I'm thinking. And then I have Undisputed Excellence, which is colleagues uniting for the empowerment of excellence. And that's where art, culture, music, fashion, anything, like I do supportive of just anybody and anything. If you got something that you create, I want to support you, and that's what Undisputed Excellence is. Because I'm a firm believer that you can challenge anything in this world, but you can't challenge the way somebody views something. So like people create in Picasso. You can think that Picassos are ugly, but to Picasso, that's the most beautiful thing he's ever created. So that's what Undisputed means, and that's Undisputed Excellence. Rainey's Bungalow is specifically for children, and I do kind of the same things from Shop THEIVYFILES, but it's specifically for children, and that's Lorraine, so that's my name, like Lorraine, Rainey's Bungalow, so that's just for kids. Just started Jeeping While Black, and that's just for black Jeep owners. If you go on like Instagram or any kind of social media, you won't see us, but we have them, and so it's just a space for people to congregate and to just talk about Jeep stuff in a way that there's some things that like people might put some rims on their Jeep, and if you put them on other Jeep pages, people might laugh at you or might think they're silly or whatever. But to us, it's like, oh man, he put them 24s on like the rims, and so people can give you encouragement through that. And especially in like Atlanta, they have like Jeep ride outs with like it's a whole bunch of people that will ride in their Jeeps and just go drive down the street and they'll meet up at like parks and stuff. So start that one.
When did you get your Jeep?
I got my Jeep a year after I graduated. So I got a job, and then I waited until I could stack my bread up, because I was driving around an #05 Jetta with no AC, missing hubcaps. Woo! Like, so I was lucky enough to have a job when I graduated, and so I didn't start until, well, I can back up. I didn't get my license until senior year in college.
Oh.
Yeah, so I didn't have a car. Like, so my first car was this '05 Jetta, no AC, no hubcaps. I was just like the windows didn't even roll down. Like it was like on a good occasion the window would roll down. So I was like, even at the fast food restaurants, I had to open up the door and like reach around. Ooh. And so finally it was like the hottest day in Houston, and I was like, I cannot. I drove home from work. I'm just crying, sweating, and I was like, I gotta get a new car. And I was like, I always wanted a Jeep, so I went and I researched and I found my Jeep, and it's been ever since. I've been in love with it. Like when they say it's a Jeep thing, it's a Jeep thing. It's a personal experience, because it's like, for me, like, I don't keep anything ever the same. And so with a Jeep, like, you can pull the fenders off and it's new. You can add new wheels, new tires. Like, it's not like everything, like, anything that you see on the Jeep is like Mr. Potato Head. You can add and you can do all kinds of stuff. So that's why I keep looking at it. I love my little car.
Yeah, we saw you change, like, the front grille. Like, how was that?
It was fun. Like, I'm a DIYer. So, like, I bought the grill off of Amazon. I painted it, and I stuck it on there. It was real easy to put it on there. It's like literally everything on the Jeep is like pop the part off, pick one new in. Like it's real easy. It's American made, so it's cheaper to get your car fixed too. So like the Volkswagen, when stuff broke down, that's why I couldn't afford to get it fixed, because even though it was an '05, like it's more expensive to get foreign cars. For Jeep buying, I didn't want, like, of course I wanted the luxury feel, but I'm not gonna rub it down every day. Like some people who have the Saharas with the leather seats and different things like that, like they take care of the inside of their car, and they're like, I'm not big on that. Like I'm not big on the dials and the whistles and all that same stuff. So I went for the basic model, and so I just have regular seats, and I added my own like seat covers. But if you want like that luxury feel, I'll go with the Sahara, leather seats, smooth ride. And I would get, if I could go back, I would get a hard top and then switch to a soft top for the winter time. I mean for the summertime, because with a soft top, I can take it off in traffic. For the hard top, you have to like unscrew it, pick it up. The back is actually heavy, but I can do that, take it on, take it off at any time. So soft tops, that's what I would do. But I mean, once you get the Jeep, like you can do whatever you want to it. But it's just about how you want to feel on the inside. So on the inside of mine, it doesn't feel like a super luxury car. But if you want the super luxury feel, Saharas and like the Willys Jeeps, like the specialty ones. But like what I love about Jeep is I think it's 2007 to 2017. They all look exactly the same. So like my car's 2010. Like nobody would really just know like what it is. So I bought a used car. Once again, I'm still trying to make my money. I bought a used car and with low miles. So if you want, I would get a used car with low miles because they look exactly the same as 2017 and it has just amount of miles.
Can you tell us about the Ivy Palooza?
Okay, so the Ivy Palooza basically, I like to have a good time. So it started off with it's just a vibe.
Why you make it so complicated?
It's a music festival. Like I said, like Undisputed, I love people who believe in themselves enough to share it with the world. So the Ivy Palooza was just a party for my birthday, and then on top of that, I get to give my friends an opportunity to show the world what they have. And so it's a festival, but it's an open mic festival. So there's no pressure. So you get to choose how you want to share. So it's good times, good food, good people, good vibes.
Is it something like new you would add to it, like later on in the future?
If I were to do anything different, I think I would actually get real vendors, like, and get more people involved. I think I keep it such a small scale, because it's only me that's running it. Like I have my friends, like they'll tell me like, oh, this flyer looks good, but literally everything about it was like me, like getting it all together. So I think like I can reach out to more people, like people who are interested in event coordinating. I can definitely help, like ask them to help me and put it on together. But I would love to have like way more performers, have it go longer in the day. Like not have to have my dad cook the food. Like that's what they did this year. So I had I brought on a caterer. I did Spuddy's Potatoes. I allowed him to do his food this time. So just getting more people involved.
I didn't go to the first one, but as far as the second one, I didn't know that it was just you that coordinated most of everything. So it was pretty, I enjoyed myself.
Yeah, the first one was a little bit more different because it was a lot more people I didn't know. Because I didn't know, like a lot of people who performed this year were the same people who performed last year. So it was a little bit more scary for me the first year because I'm like, I don't know these people, I don't know who they're going to bring, I don't know their crowd. Yeah. So it was different because it was like new, but this was like I think more people were more comfortable. They had been their second time there. Like they knew to bring their chair, their blanket, their cooler, and different things like that. So that was cool.
What other ways do you plan on helping others with your brand?
So with the Melanin collection, the reason why I brought this one out is because I was seeing that like people, when you saw the pictures on Instagram and social media and different things like that, it was mostly dark-skinned people when people would be like, oh, their melanin's popping. And, you know, we all have melanin. All black people have melanin. Like, I'm a scientist by nature. Like, melanin is literally a chemical that we all have in our skin. And so what I wanted to do with this one was to show all shades. And being a brown-skinned girl, I wouldn't be considered dark-skinned. I wouldn't be considered light-skinned unless I'm around people who are dark skinned or they're light skinned. Like, I kind of feel like sometimes brown skinned girls are left in the middle when it comes to like the big argument of dark skins versus light skins. We're just in the middle. It depends on who we're standing by, determines, or what time of the year it is. If it's summertime, I'm darker. If it's wintertime, I may get in with the beginning of the shades, like, you know. Right. So I just wanted to give something where everybody felt like they could be included. And so yeah, so I did from dark to light. Originally this was like a pink color, but it didn't look good when it was being put on other things. So, and they really don't go in order on, it kind of, like this one is actually lighter than this one. So I had to make it look good, but the whole part was like the shades. So I wanted to give everybody an opportunity to see themselves in melanin because I feel like it was going in the wrong way, like where it was just like only dark-skinned people or only people who were noticeably darker has it. But no, we all have this pigment. We're all protected from the sun in any kinds of ways. So yeah, I started off with kids. I started off with children because one, I couldn't afford to do the big patches yet. So I started off with kids shirts and kids things because I feel those are the people that we got to touch first. So I try to help people by thinking of something that I know will help me. And even if I never sold, I never like expected to sell as many as I did. Even if I never sold as much, I know I tried.
Right.
And so my next thing I'm coming up with is God is in the Rain. And so it's raincoats and rain boots and umbrellas and different things like that. And it's for people who are going through things and different things, like, you know, they may not feel like God is with them, but God is in the rain, and he can wash you clean just like the rain does the earth. So that's like the next big thing that I have going. And I think that even if I don't sell a single raincoat, even if I don't sell a single rain boot, that I know that I try to give a message, and if people receive it, they receive it. If they don't, they don't. But God is in the rain. I think that's, especially during these times, like I feel like during the summer times, people go through these immense, like, creative and like burst of energy, and people are all over the place with everything. And then as the winter rolls down, that's when people start getting like, not necessarily, summer creates confusion, and then you have to deal with all the confusion that you created, like situationships. People get in, like, you know, like they're like, oh, I'm gonna be single during the summer, and so you do all these things and you feel like you're being happy and like you're living out in the sun and you're doing all these things. But when wintertime comes around, you're like, now it's time to be in a relationship, or now it's time to settle down, or now it's time to think about certain things like that. So I feel like there will be a rainy season for the times that we are in the sun, because, you know, in order for you to have sun, you have to have the rain, like, you know. So
one big cycle.
Yeah, the world runs on a cycle. We all run on cycles within the world too.
What do you feel like your message, like overall message and goals are, like, that you could share with us?
Personal or for my business?
You could do both. Start with personal.
Personal, I would say my biggest message is staying true to myself. I think that if I stay true to myself, then I can help others be true to themselves. Like, I hope that when people look at me, they can see that they can be something within themselves too, like a mirror. Like, I hope, like, I was telling my mom, like, if I ever die early, if I ever die, like, you know, I'm gonna write it down, but I want my casket to be a mirror, like, made out of mirrors. And I don't want people to cry because of me being gone. I want you to reflect on the things that I've taught you, and reflect on life and what life has taught you. Basically, I just want to be, when people look at me or look at the things that I create, as something that they can see a reflection of in themselves and want to create and be within themselves. I think that if I can, my goal is to be a mirror. Like, I believe that you can only ask and gain for yourself what you want for others. So if you want others to be successful, you have to give those praises. If you want others to be happy, you have to praise, like, you know, like, I wish happiness for you, because you can't gain happiness if you don't wish it. Like, you know, that's why people be like, oh, the biggest thing people say that kills me about our generation is, don't talk about the moves you're making. Because, one, it's okay to be humble, but if you know what you want to do and you know you want to make the moves, you don't have to not, if it's for you, God is going to give them to you. There's nobody that can stop them. So there's a thing about speaking prematurely about things that you haven't created yet, but there's nothing that you can say in this world. Like, if I wanted to be the biggest rapper, and I believed that I was going to be the biggest rapper, and I worked as hard as I was going to be the biggest rapper, nobody could take that from me. But, like, when people are like, you know, don't tell your next move, no man can stop your next move. And so I got off track. For my brand, what I hope is that it continues to grow as I do. So there's this quote by Michelangelo, who said, the sculptor, God created the statue. All he had to do was move the excess marble around it. So what he had was already created. God had already given it to him. He just had to remove the excess around it, and that's what became, like, this David statue, the one where, like, the guy is like this. So I think that if I continue to just try to create what I see and what I do, then it'll be successful. Rather than, like, pushing stuff out just to do it or for the money. I never did anything for the money. I hope I would never ever do anything for the money. Of course, you have to make business decisions, but I don't make anything for the money. So that's my goal, is just to continue to create what I see and create what I have.
What have you learned from your parents that made you successful?
So I think that I'm pretty blessed, because my parents are about to turn 60. So I believe that I was born in the new world but I have old knowledge. So one thing specifically that I've learned from my father is like patience and like logical thinking about things, and trying to think about the bigger picture whenever I look at anything. Like before I get angry, it's like, why am I really angry? What is really truly making me angry? What is the problem? So logical thinking, the love of life, your word is your bond, what you say you do. And for my mom, I think I've learned sustainability and the legacy factor. So when I was Miss Prairie View, my platform was legacy, leaving everlasting gifts of art and culture for the years. And that's just like, what you do now should live forever. And what you're doing should live forever, because it has purpose. Like, so my mom, like that drive fast, like what you're doing, live forever. My dad, like the smooth logic of like being one with the nature, being one with the world. He never got to go to veterinary school, but he's a farmer, and he has we have a ranch. That's the ranch that had Ivy Blues on. He has his animals. So being one with nature, and then he also has his trade too. So he works for NASA, and he does like computer boring stuff, but it's not boring to him. It's boring to me. But we just been finding that balance, that smooth balance of like nature, worldly vibes.
Out of all the things that you've already completed, what do you think is like to you the most proud of, the most successful thing?
I would have to say, in the very beginning, when I was doing a lot of like custom pieces for people, yeah, like graduation and all those custom things for people, would just be seeing like their vision come alive. So like they give me an idea and I produce, and it's exactly what they needed or what they wanted, because it never existed before, you know. So it was just something in their mind and helping them create those things. So like with the Prairie View shorts, like if they want to see it, yeah, like just getting these manufactured. Like I saw the idea, and then like finding the person to make them, and I got these actually made in Pakistan, and it was just like, you know, finally seeing that final product. So I guess like just bringing anybody's visions alive is really what I'm really proud of. It's just taking something and making it, an idea, and making it into something that tangible that you can see.
Indeed.
What change do you notice from the beginning of starting Ivy Files to now?
I have to say, like, I've changed. For the most part, I've made like a wise woman once told me that like every 10 years you decide who you're going to be. So as I transition into these 20s and like these 20-somethings, I feel like I've reached a calmness, whereas I used to be like the first person, like, let's take shots, like just for the simple fact to take them. Now I just take them because it's fun. But like, where like that's all I lived for was like the party, the fast, the moving. Like this means just what it's gonna mean. That's like, you know. But now as I'm moving into, it's like, what am I doing? The sustainability factor. So as I'm changing, the brand has changed. So where I was like doing things for like a week, I only got this for a week. I only got these hats for a week, or I'm only doing this like graduation, only doing this for a week, like graduation shirts. I'm only doing that. I've gotten to more sustainable things. But I've like really changed a lot. I think mentally, physically. You know, get out of college. Like I never got to freshman 15, but I got to like the graduate 35. and so like that also is like you know, my self-confidence changed. Like, you know, coming off of like being Miss Prairie View, and it's like you're the height of like the epitome of like college for me. That was like the top. And coming off, it's like, okay, where do I fit at in this real world? Like, where do I fit at with, you know, corporate, and like, you know, like I have to dress up every day, not by like choice. And what does that actually mean to me? Whereas like I was dressing up to represent Prairie View and dressing up to make, like, you know, other people happy for what they feel like my position was. Now what does that mean to me? Like, so I went through like this rebel phase of like I didn't get my nails done for 6 months. Like I was wearing my natural hair. Like I didn't wear heels. Like you can ask my friends. Like I was like, I'm not going to the club because I'm not wearing heels. Like do I have to wear heels? I'm not putting them on. So so now I'm like transitioning back into like the like getting my nails done and like making sure my hair is done and like my makeup is done, because it was just like where it was forced upon me. Now it's something that is like, now it's my choice. So as I continue to grow, I'm continuing to see beautiful things, because I would have never came up with God is in the Rain when at the beginning. And I think that also comes from like a personal journey of like going through all of that, and it's like God never left me through that, so I can't leave him through this.
Right. So as far as God is in the Rain, when are we looking to see that?
It's coming. It's coming. I mean, I have a few prototypes. I'm not in love with them yet, so until I'm absolutely in love with them, then that's when I'm gonna push them out. And then it's still kind of hot. Like, people aren't wearing raincoats right now, so I think once we get a little tinge of cool weather, I'm gonna pop them off. Yeah, it's coming. Yeah, it's gonna be cute. It's gonna be cute, and it's gonna have those African touches to them. That's really what I'm trying to how I'm gonna exactly do that. Because I don't want to be so like, I love being black, I love like melanin, and I love all of that stuff, but I don't want to be so so exclusive that other people don't feel like they can be included. Like, I don't know. You know, I don't know. Yeah. You go to this HBCU and you feel like super like pro like brown skin, but you know, we all here like, you know. So I don't want people to feel like they're out of that, because we all have melanin.
So this summer you've been traveling a lot.
Yeah.
Any advice from travelers before the summer ends?
Go to Jamaica. I would say for traveling, because I do travel a lot. I would say just go on a whim. Like, if your schedule is not tight, go. Like, even if it's like a Saturday through Tuesday or Friday through Sunday. Like, if you can get most of my funnest trips have been like, I booked it the Monday before. I have no trips that I've actually like planned for. So I bought my flight to Jamaica 2 weeks before I left. Like, so I saw a good deal, and you see a good deal, you just go with it, and you never know what you learn. So good deals, Airbnb, Uber, Lyft. But yeah, if you see those flight deals, go. Like, I went to Denver. I think my flight was like $54. Stayed for like Sunday through Wednesday, or like Sunday through Tuesday, or I think it was Friday through Monday or something like that. And it was like, how can you not pass up a $50 flight?
Right.
You get your Airbnb for like, you get your friends, $100 a night, split it up, boom. Like, that's more than a regular flight, you know. So the best time to go look, Tuesdays, 1:30 our time is when I go look.
PM.
Yeah, PM.
I did a little research, and I seen like 3 words that I guess they like describe you. Can you just briefly describe why though? And that was self-discovery, meditation, and inner peace.
Self-discovery, inner peace, and meditation. I think that if you don't have a grasp on those things, that you won't be able to get in touch with who you are and who you're meant to be. So, like, meditation is so important, because that's when I create. Like, I don't ever sit down. I've never sat down with a pen and paper and like, this is what I'm going to make today. Like, through meditation and like through finding out who I am, that's how I've created things. Yeah, so I've never been to the chalkboard. I've always go to my mind. And I think when you have a complete grasp of who you are and what you want to do, even though you may not have the plans, even though you may not have the general idea of how you're going to get it done, if you understand who you are and your capabilities, and when you are tried, you're able to like solve it. So like in Jamaica, like I had like a super transcending moment. Me and my friend Kier, we went down to the river. We met these people, and they took us on the back of their motorcycles. It was kind of scary, like when I think about it in the retrospect. Like, but how I like made it make sense was like, if I can get in an Uber, I can trust these people. to take me where they're from. So they took us to their village, and they took us on these rafts. And when I tell you, I have never seen something so beautiful. Like, we went from countryside, it was poor. Jamaica's a poor country. So I went to the countryside, and like, these people use this river as to bathe, to clean, to wash their clothes, to drink. I don't think they use it for drinking water, but they can drink it because the water's so clean. But they took us on these rafts, and they started like chipping away at this rock, and it was limestone. And so they laid us out on the rafts, and they started rubbing the rocks together with the water, and it made like a paste. And they took the paste and like massaged us and like put it like all over our bodies in like a very respectable, like kind of like ceremonial type way. And I don't even think they realized what they were doing, at least to me. And so like I wrote this poem not too long ago, and it was like I wanted to wash in the river of Jordan. And because sometimes I feel like I'm overrated and underrated at the same time. I'm over-debated and under-debated at the same time. And I think as millennials, I wish I brought the poem because I don't remember it all the way, but I think that that's a lot of some things that we go through. It's like, you know, we're in this time of like, who are we supposed to be? And I'm at where I'm going. Like, I got this real job, and it's like, what is this real job going to do for me after I got this degree, or after I got, like, you know, where I'm supposed to be? So like, I wanted to have this like reawakening, rewashing experience. Not quite a baptism, because like, you know, baptism with God and like in the church, and that's what it seemed like, but the original baptisms were in the river. And so let me backtrack because I get off note. So they washed us down, like they put the mask all over us, the limestone. It's like two rocks, literally two rocks, and they just dip it and rub the rocks together, and it made like this cream. They called it like a cream. And like it exfoliated us, like I have like videos, and you can watch my YouTube. I have a video of my travel journey, and so it dried and it got hard, and then we jumped in the water, and like it was the cleanest water ever, and like washed myself off, and like when I got up, like the world was brighter, everything was brighter, like it was beautiful, like it was beautiful. And when I got back on the raft, like 2 dragonflies landed on me. And I don't know if y'all understand like the symbolism for dragonflies. Dragonflies don't stop often at all. Like, it's not often that dragonflies land on one particular thing. So if they land on you, that means that you have luck, that you're lucky. Or and what they represent on like totem poles and different things like that is that they are for change, a new perspective. Like an emotional enlightening, and so that was like my cue with nature. That was like what I was doing. Like, you know, I felt it, but like, you know how people are like, I need a sign to where I can lead him, like like you know. So that was like my sign of like I'm anew, and I often reference like myself to a phoenix. Are you familiar with what phoenix birds are? So like for those who aren't familiar with phoenix birds are a cyclical animal, and they self-combust. And so when it's time for them to self-combust, they build a nest of aromatic woods. So they go pick, and like, you know, they put all their stuff together, and then when it's time, they sit in the nest and they go on fire. And then from the ashes, a new bird is born. The same bird, but you have the same knowledge, but you're reborn. And so and that really touches me, because my mom originally wanted to name me Phoenix, but her and my dad couldn't agree on names. Like, my dad wanted to name me Mary, and my mom wanted to name me Phoenix. So those are like two opposite spectrums. They ended up with Ivy. But I don't know, like I just felt like for a long time before I had left that I had been building this nest because I wanted to be different. I wanted to think different. And in order to be different, you have to change how you think about the world. And so like coming up out of that water, and like coming off that mask, and like these newfound people, good food, good times, it was really good. Really good.
So what other places do you like travel to so far?
I've done like the touristy things. I would say that's my first true trip out of the country, because I went to Cancun, but I only stayed on the resort, so I didn't really get like full like different city vibe. But I've done the Miamis, the LAs, the New Yorks, Denver, New Orleans. I've done like the travel-y things. But I've been traveling since I was little. Like we used to always do road trips. So that was my first like true trip, big girl trip out of the country, no parents, just me and my best friend.
Is there anything you want to leave your viewers with?
I have to say, like, thank you. Like, thank you to anyone who believes that, you know, what I'm making is like cool or they think it's nice. Because, like, you know, like I said, like I don't do it because I want other people to like think it's cool or like want to make the money off of it. So I definitely appreciate anyone who's ever like supported me, given me encouragement, who's believed. Because like on my business cards and what I do with every order is I send a thank you note and I handwrite the thank you note and I thank them for their support and that may they rock their melanin forever. Specifically with that melanin connection, I don't know what I'm gonna do with Goddess and Lorraine collection. I do think I'm gonna do a thank you note, but I don't know how I'm gonna write it out. But just thankful. Like I'm very thankful for the people that believe, because they don't know me. Like you know. And they trust me with their not only their money, but like just trust me to give them a good product. So I always want to say thank you.
Tell them how to reach you.
Oh, you can reach me on Twitter at THEIVYFILES, Instagram at THEIVYFILES, and you can Instagram shop THEIVYFILES and THEIVYFILES.com.
Well, there we have it.